What do we do when every decision we make seems the wrong one? Like one after the other, every choice you're making turns out to be the worst possible one you could make. Welcome. We are in Bookshelf to Boardroom, and today we're talking about the hard thing about hard things. And imagine a B school case study which is structured and laid out, and there are scenarios in place, and everyone knows where to find what information to solve this case. But life's hardly like that. It's messy, it's lonely. You don't know where to look for decisions, and there's no one telling you at the end of the case study if you made the right one or not. Sometimes you have to part ways with people that you do not wish to, but for the sake of your company, you may have to make those decisions. Sometimes you have to show up, even when every cell in your body tells you not to.
But what do we do when we don't have enough information to make the decision?
The problem is that all of us just want to make the perfect decision at all the times. But the point is, life, nor does running a company, is about making perfect decisions. It's about making a decision that keeps your company moving forward. And when we're waiting for the right decision, more often than not, we're killing the momentum that's important to keep moving forward. And it's important for us to realize that there is no one map that you can just follow and you'll know all the right milestones to hit and when to hit them. It's more about your judgment, more about learning from experiences and not being afraid to make mistakes. And if you do, being able to fail fast and being able to fail forward. And when you're making decisions, think about three things. Because, like you said, we don't have enough information. So, what is it that we can do? What happens if I go wrong? What are my recovery options? And what can be my decision so that I can maximize the number of recovery options I have? One, if we follow this framework, no matter where we go wrong, we know that we have some fallback options to go back to. And that will give us that extra courage needed to make decisions when we don't have all the information. And I agree, waiting for that right answer feels safer, but sometimes there's nothing more dangerous than waiting.
I know layoffs are difficult, but is there a difference between laying off an employee and laying off someone from an executive leadership team?
Well, there was a whole chapter talking in this book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things, that talked about, yes, layoffs are difficult, but they're quite different for the executive leadership team. Because when you decide to fire someone from an executive team, more often than not, it is not the fault of the executive. It is the fault in your hiring process or a fault in your integration process. And more often than not, what do we do wrong in hiring an executive is, number one, we don't define the role accurately. Number two, we cannot distinguish between whether we are trying to hire for scale or we are trying to hire for stability. So if you are a startup, you need to quickly pick up the pace and quickly get things moving. But when you're a big established corporation, which has already reached a big scale, maybe you're looking for setting up processes, setting up structure, and need more stability. If you don't have this ask defined clearly, you are more likely to hire a wrong executive to deliver on that ask. And number three, when instead of hiring for brilliance, you hire for predictability. So if I tell you we have to hire a sales executive, more often than not, people are imagining a male. They're imagining someone tall, the way they look, the way they talk, everything. An image comes up in our mind. And if someone comes to interview for that position that doesn't fit into our image immediately, we don't consciously realize this, but we may have a bias against them. So these are three things that may lead to wrong hiring of an executive. And if it has been done, when you're communicating the news about the layoff to them, be very careful that you don't use the word, I think we're going to be making this decision. You should be very assertive. I have made this decision. Explain to them what went wrong. Let them express themselves as well. And remember that this is a job, when done well, will save your company and give it an opportunity to improve. But it's also a job that nobody cheers you for. So, as a leader, you need to be conscious of the kind of hard challenges that you're going to face and have a strategy of how you're going to face them.
So if now we have the right executive, how do we make sure that they grow along with the company?
The simple answer is feedback. And to explain it further, let me extend the conversation that we were having earlier. We were talking about executives, right? A big company executive is more trained to respond to questions, to tasks, or to crisis. But an executive in a startup is trained to create momentum when there is none. So if you are hiring someone to scale your company, and you hire someone who's expert at handling scale but does not know anything about picking up that scale, then that person may not be the right fit. Or you can give them the right feedback that can help them reinvent themselves or change their strategy at work. So how do you give them that feedback? We're talking about 5 things here. Number 1, be authentic. So don't say anything that you don't really mean. They're going to figure it out. Number 2, come from a right place. The goal of giving the feedback is not to show that you're smarter than them. The goal is to make sure that you're doing something for the collective good of the company together. Number 3, don't make it personal. The minute you start attacking someone, their defenses go up and all your feedback goes out the window. Number 4, never ever criticize or give feedback that requires improvement in public. Finally, number 5, make it direct, but do not make it cruel or rude. And when you're giving these feedbacks, always remember that the overall larger goal of any feedback is to help them grow with you, not without you. So on this episode 3 of Hard Thing About Hard Things, we talked about a lot of things. Number 1, how to make decisions when you don't have enough information. Number 2, it's possible that you can outgrow people who you thought were irreplaceable. And number 3, feedback is important, and sometimes to keep your pace up with the company's growth, you may have to keep reinventing yourself and keep growing. If you resonated with any of these, please share your leadership challenges in the comment section below, and stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be decoding how to build a culture that does not crack under pressure.